So today I want to talk about how to test to see if your clawfoot or cast tub has any lead in it. As well, you can do the same for sinks. I did order a couple different options off Amazon. I checked my local hardware stores and I didn't find anything that I could get locally. So one of the ones I ordered was New POS. This product dips into vinegar, white vinegar, and then you simply swab it on to see if it's going to read by going by the color chart. There's another one that uses water, and it's the same basic system to see if you have lead. You just rub it on some of the bare areas to see if it turns a certain color. Now, the vinegar option, it'll stay good longer, as in when you buy the product, it's good for 3 years, assuming that you've gotten it dated to the time you bought it. And this is only 2 years for the water. I don't know which is more reliable. I know that there's not as many lead testing products on the market, so I recommend getting them both if you're curious and you want to kind of cover your bases. So now I'm going to go through how to actually test to make sure whether you do or don't have lead on your tub or your fixture. So I've dipped the first product in the vinegar solution as it said, and it says on the instructions you want to rub it for about 30 seconds to see whether or not it's going to start turning color. So basically, if you're looking on a tub and it's a surface that still has the gloss and sheen on it, most likely the reading should come in as no lead. So you just want to kind of take it and start rubbing it back and forth. You'll even notice that as you're rubbing it, that kind of mustardy color on these ones in particular won't be changing color at all. If anything, it may even turn lighter. So it recommends 30 seconds of you rubbing this back and forth, and just pay attention after that point to see if the color on this Q-tip does change. This one's not changing at all. I picked a fairly glossy area. It does look like there's a little bit of discoloration where I'm rubbing it, but it's definitely not reading much. If you take a look at the chart, you'll see that it's basically staying the mustard color, maybe a slight bit higher up the scale, but not much. So I've dipped another swab, and I'm going to check an area in the tub where it's lost its gloss, its sheen. Typically it's going to be in the bottom of the tub because it has the most water that pools in on a consistent basis. So you want to look and see anywhere where there's no sheen, and you want to take this same Q-tip and just kind of gently rub it back and forth, testing in the area. In this case, again, I can see it turning color around the area. You'll start to notice on the tip that it is changing color. Now, this didn't change a lot of color. There's a little bit of smear here, but that changed quite a bit more color. So there is lead in the porcelain. You can kind of go by where it is on the scale as to how much lead is in it. I'm sure if I went to an area where it was very bare, it might read a little higher. And as time goes by, you can see how much more it's darkening to get a good solid reading that there is lead in the porcelain in this tub. It's not just in the metal. It can actually be in the porcelain itself. They use it back in the day to kind of make sure that you got a proper gloss on the tub. It was kind of a leveling component, I think, that was added. Anyway, that's the vinegar test. And you can see that this definitely read as though there was lead. Now I'm using the water activated swabs. They don't stay as long, but they say they're accurate. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to choose a glossy area and kind of rub it back and forth to see if it does change color. You can see this one's kind of leaving a mustardy hue where I'm rubbing it. Again, it's the same thing. It recommends 30 seconds. It's changing slightly, not a ton. And again, it does have the scale. As you can see, it kind of wraps around on this one. And you kind of go by that where it sits on it. No lead detected if it's kind of mustardy. And I'm going to get another swab to kind of test the inside where I did the other area. So I did use bottled water. I don't want any contaminants in any type of water changing the results. So I figured bottled water was probably the best to go with. If I take it, and I'm going to look again for a bare area, I'm just going to kind of gently rub it back and forth. I want to try and get the whole Q-tip touching it and gently rolling it. Now it is changing color. I don't know if it's as dramatic as using the vinegar one was. But you can definitely see it has changed color. And if you go on the scale, it's much further up from almost no lead detected to, I would say, 3/4 up the scale to tell you that there probably is lead in it. And that's the basic way to test to see if your tub has it in it. So one of the ways, if you don't want to change out your tub and get an acrylic, is tub reglazing, which is what I do. So I'll show at the end of this video another test with these swabs when I'm finished to show you how much it's protected after I'm done refinishing. So one thing to be aware of, after doing the tests, I wanted to see if they would wipe off. And you'll notice there's a drip that comes down right here from the vinegar solution. So if you are concerned about leaving a stain, I do recommend maybe going with the water one, just because it will not ruin your tub if you are not looking at refinishing. And if it tests come out negative, I don't want you to have a stain on your tub. Okay, so the tub has been glazed. I've waited 24 hours. And now I'm gonna test with a little Q-tip that's been dipped in water to see if, again, there is any lead in the bottom in the areas that I've checked before. So I'm gonna rub it in that same area, approximately. You do see that the mustard color off of this Q-tip is going onto the tub's surface there. Make sure I kind of rub it back and forth quite a bit, roll it around nice and good. Again, it does say 30 seconds, so you do want to make sure that you rub it thoroughly. And I'm just going to wipe off to make sure that I'm not going to stain anything. I don't want to leave it sitting on that surface. But if you take a good close look, you can see that there's no color change. So after a reglaze, there's no lead on the surface. So if you do get this process done, you will feel safe. Thank you.